So I was moving on the education culture, the focus to the I could do collaboration. Recently working on a new related to website program to activate
I have sent the new link to him.
here at once,
I
they
have sent
are
the new link to him.
Did the discussion go on for 3 hours?
We had three different tracks.
Three different tracks.
Oh. Track one was AIML and biotechnology. Then we had track two, which was on healthcare. And the last track
Good morning, respected panelists, and good morning, everybody. We're really sorry for starting so late. So, I'm Anil Ellis, and I'm heading the entire organization of this panel discussion along with Sukrit and the entire Genesis team under Dr. Vidya Niranjan Ma'am, HOD of our Technology Department, along with Dr. Agarwal. So today is day 2 of the panel discussion, and we'll be starting with track 4, which is nanobiotechnology. I would like to invite Dr. Hanalini Ma'am and Dr. Vijay Kumar sir onto the dais. Also, we have with us online another 4 panelists who have joined in. Dr. Rachna Ma'am, Dr. Sudarshan sir, Dr. Neeta Ma'am, and Dr. Rajeshwari Ma'am. Okay, so without any further ado, we'll dive straight into the panel discussion. So I'm going to be moderating the session, and it's my pleasure. So I'll directly start. Dr. Mrinalini Ma'am, your first question is, what are the prospects of nanotechnology in production of biofuel?
A very good morning. Hello. A very good morning to all of you. Should I start with a small introduction of myself? I am Mrinalini, and I head the Department of Postgraduate Biotechnology at NMKRB College for Women. My research area is biofuels, and of late I have also been diverging into the applications of nanotechnology in production of biofuels, in particular biodiesel. So the question that he asked on what are the prospects
What are the prospects of nanotechnology in
in
biofuel?
biofuels? Well, there are certain criteria for biofuel, rather for a fuel to be called as a biofuel. Many of you must be knowing. Firstly, is its origin from a biological source. And the greatest advantage is that it is biodegradable and it is very environmental friendly. So, how do we improve by using nanotechnology? Biofuels are basically oils that are transesterified to give fatty acid methyl esters. And in this process, we use catalysts. The catalysts could be acid catalysts or alkaline catalysts or even enzymatic catalysts. So we are basically researching in order to see which of these catalysts work best. Through my study, I have deduced that alkaline catalysts work better and also are economical, though the enzymatic catalysts also do work at their optimum, but they are also economically viable. I'm using nanocatalysts, that is metal oxides and hydroxides. So we have also found that there is a better yield of the fatty acid methyl esters from various lipid sources, whether we are sourcing lipids from either non-edible oil seeds or from microalgae or from microbes. So I have been working on bacterial lipids. So we have found that using certain metal oxides such as nickel oxide, magnesium oxide, zinc oxide, titanium oxide, we have been able to produce good fatty acid methyl esters. Along with that, we have also tried with layered hydroxides. They are called as layered double hydroxides or LDL. Now these are hydroxides, and when we actually look at the SEM view of these and analyze their X-ray crystallographic structures, they are layers of hydroxides, providing more surface area and which are more catalytic. So hence, we have found that the use of nanoparticles has been quite economical and viable in the production of fatty acid methyl esters, which is otherwise biodiesel.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before we move ahead, I would like to request all the panelists who have joined online to turn on their videos. Also, I would like to inform at this juncture that this entire session is being live telecasted on YouTube, and we have almost 600 plus participants who are viewing this. So, continuing, moving on to the next question to Dr. Vijay Kumar sir. It would be nice if you two could introduce yourself in brief, especially with respect to the projects that you're working on.
Let's say Professor Dr. J. So, I have done my BA and MA in I have actually done my research only on the characterization or development of these ceramic structures and its application in biotechnology. And I work in the BHL lab, opposite to the Indian Science, where we carried out my work on the development of these big nanostructures. And from past 24 years, I'm working as a faculty and teaching field. So when I talk about my the research work, especially on the nanotechnology, actually when I go for the preparation of the nanoceramic materials, or if you want to reduce the size of the any particles in the nano size, when you go for the research field, at least you can get some 5 grams or 10 grams or not more than 50 to 50 grams. So there I got an the exposure to a new field where I went and carried out my research work in the PhD, where I have gotten almost a very huge bank where I worked, where we can get around the 500 grams to 5 kg of the nanoceramic particles which work. So the plant was designed by one of my and he was done his PhD under the Trexler. I think you've been knowing about the Trexler, who is called as the father of the nanotechnology. So there I worked. I've been synthesized the aluminum oxide and the zirconium oxide. So when you go for the particles of the ceramics, so basically, so they are almost they are neutrally charged. So they are neutrally in charge when you go for the because the segment particles mix the metal and the non-metal, the both compounds will be there when you go for the segment nanostructures. So this application are used for the purification of the proteins. Because when you go for the proteins, we cannot purify a single proteins or a group of proteins there. It is very difficult to purify, and which is very rare and challenging work when you come for in the field of the biotechnology. So these ceramic particles, which we have been synthesized, and I got around alumina around some 23 to 25 the nanoparticles, the meter, right? And we go for the zirconia. We have purified the particle size was around 55 to 60 nano size. So these things are brought to the RVC, then are purified the proteins, the drumstick proteins. The drumstick, the cationic proteins is there, where these cationic proteins nowadays are using for the purification of the water. So these charged the nanoceramic because they are neutrally in charge. We can charge these nanoparticles maybe for the positive charge or the negative charge, depending upon what type of the proteins we can subtract. So these are charged for the negative charge, and I have been successfully removed the cationic proteins by using this ceramic nanoparticles. So this is one of the PhD work which I have done. Then after this, many of the proteins which have been synthesized, they will be separated in our department by using the nanosecond structures. So this is one of my application of the nanosecond particles in the biotechnology field. Especially, we have been separated from, we have separated around some 3 to 4 proteins, and now one group of proteins which have been separated by using the nanoparticles.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to the same question to Dr. Rachna ma'am.
Yeah, good morning to one and all.
Good morning, ma'am.
I'm not clear, it's not clearly audible for me. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah. Good morning to one and all present there.
Good morning, ma'am. Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Can you please introduce yourself, especially with respect to the projects that you're working on?
Okay, yeah, good morning to one and all. I thank the biotechnology department for providing me an opportunity to speak about my research. My name is Dr. Rachna Aki, and I'm CE since 19 years. And I pursued my PhD from IIT Madras in the area of microwave radiometry. And this was applied for the early detection of the breast cancer. So I worked on the research. My research was basically on developing the antennas and placing the antennas onto the tissues, which helps in the early detection of the breast cancer. Why? Because this microwave radiometry was the area, or is the area, I can say it is the area wherein it is not much being used in India rather than abroad. People do nowadays use microwave radiometry for the early detection of the breast cancer. So my research was basically on the development of the antennas, synchronization of these array of the antennas, and the accumulation of the signals that are generated from the tunes. And regarding few of the projects which I am right now carrying out is being sanctioned at 15 lakh project from BGST, and I think it's in the area of the microwave radiometry. It's my research work itself, which I'm trying to move ahead for the early detection of the breast cancer.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving ahead to Dr. Neeta Shivkumar, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please introduce yourself in brief, especially with respect to the projects that you're working on? Ma'am, yeah. No, ma'am. You don't need.
Yeah, now,
Yes, ma'am.
am I audible? Yes. So good morning everyone. This is Dr. Neeta Shivkumar, working as Associate Professor in Department of Biotechnology. I have been here for last 17 years, and my main area of research is agriculture biotechnology, and especially into nanobiotechnology. So my area of interest is with respect to working on the sustainable materials using nanotechnology as one of the tools. So I do work on food packaging, thin films involved in food packaging, mainly with respect to biodegradability and increasing the shelf life of fruits and vegetables. So I have a patent granted under this category, and my further research is to check with the different types of food products which can we can increase the shelf life using the thin films which has got the nanotechnology into it, and I can share the details of the patent so that you will have an overview of how we have converted the biomaterials into nano material, and we incorporate it into the thin films so that it can enhance the shelf life. So apart from that, I also do work on carbon quantum dots. These are the materials which have enhanced optical properties, And these properties can be actually utilized in enhancing the food productivity in the crops. And my research area is into this, and I have been working on using the sustainable materials. So one aspect what we have to take care when we are using the nanomaterials is when we are using it into the living organisms, or we are dealing with the living organisms, we have to check whether they are biocompatible or not. Because important aspect is the toxicity of nanoparticles. And as much we work on using these technologies in solving our solutions, social problems and the solutions to them, we should also look into the toxicity of the nanoparticles, because as we all know, they are very small in size, and they can pass the cell membranes and get into the system, and not prove to be very toxic. So that is what we all have to work on, and I do work on checking with the nanoparticle toxicity with respect to the plants. So we have done a project, and it's been published in one of the Scopus Index journal with respect to the toxicity, what concentrations of nanoparticles are toxic to the seedlings. So there's a huge scope for work onto finding out the toxicity levels both in plants as well as animals, and I look forward that there is a lot of scope for the youngsters to take this up and work on it. So thank you. I would thank the organizers to give me this for giving me this opportunity to speak on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Moving on, Dr. Rajeshwari, ma'am, can you please introduce yourself and your area of interest?
Good morning to all. I am Rajeshwari, Department of Biotechnology, RVCE. My area of research is resynthesis of zinc as a nanomaterial and its application in biodegradation, water purification, heavy metal removals, and water disinfectant system. Here we have developed a continuous column packed with nanocomposite for the continuous removal of azodite, which is found in textile industries, which is very hazardous in nature, which is very carcinogenic. We are able to remove 63% of azodite using zinc oxide nanoparticle and chitosan nanocomposite. And also we have developed zinc oxide nanoparticle from plant-based material like lime, orange. Okay, for and we have used that synthesis zinc oxide nanoparticle as a water disinfectant system. In this project, we are able to remove around 99% of the microbes which is present in wastewater using our synthesis zinc oxide nanoparticle. Okay, this is our project, and thank you.
Dr. Sudarshan Singh, can you please introduce yourself?
So can you please introduce yourself with respect to the area?
Good morning. I'm Dr. Sudarshan. I'm a physician and PhD in biomedical engineering. And my core area of research is biomedical engineering. And I have executed projects nearly worth 88 lakhs. And the various funding agencies are Bureau of Police Research and Development, where we work on stress to assess the stress levels of police personnel. And another funded project is from UGC, where an ergonomic study of garment women workers was done. And the next project was from the Department of Science and Technology and DSI. DST project is still going on, and DSIR we have completed. Both DST and DSIR are basically medical device development projects. So, and I'm associate professor in electronics and instrumentation department. And I am also the coordinator for Center for Healthcare Technologies Research, where we do from idea to proof of concept, and it has got a lot of facilities pertaining to physiological data acquisition and analysis. So this is my brief introduction, and I would like to thank the Department of Biotechnology for giving me this opportunity to become one of the panel members. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really nice to have such panelists from such a plethora of fields, right from biofuels to separation of proteins, healthcare. We have with us for water remediation, food packaging. That's a really diverse set of applications. So now I would like to go with the second round of questions and we'll dive deeper into your areas. So now, Dr. Rachna, can you please answer this question from one of our students? How does passive medical microwave radiometry help in early detection of breast cancer?
Basically, to start with, since this is a conference of nanobiotechnology, I felt that this topic would be an odd man out topic, but still we can relate this with respect to the biotechnology or nanobio devices. And now, basically, coming to the question, what is this passive medical radiometry? This is a medical microwave radiometry. It's a passive and a non-ionizing imaging modality that was started to be used for imaging thermography techniques in the year around 1950. And this medical microwave radiometry has been intensely used outside India for the early detection of the breast cancer or for maintaining the temperature inside the brain in case of our hypothermia or for the control of temperature during hyperthermia, and also the diagnosis of the urinary bladder infections. So for all these things, this passive microwave radiometry has been early used outside India. Now coming to the target of this breast cancer, how this passive medical microwave radiometry can be used. What this passive medical microwave radiometry says is that every body, it tries to radiate the black body radiation in the frequency spectrum of the microwave between 1 to 4 gigahertz. So this passive medical microwave radiometry is a device which gathers the radiation that has been emitted in the range of 1 to 4, that is the microwave frequency range. So this device tries to gather all this radiation, which is nothing but the thermal anomalies that are happening inside the tissue. So they gather and give us an volumetric data saying that how much is the temperature deep inside the tissue. Now coming back to a tumor, if in case it's a malignant tumor, we all know that tumors, when they start to grow, they have their own conglomeration of the vascular tissues, and for the network generation, they take all the glucose levels and start developing rapidly. When they do this process, they have a temperature rise of more than 1 degree in comparison with the normal surrounding tissues. So if in case we assume that below the tissue we have a tumor which is developing and which is a malignant tumor, then obviously it gives a temperature signal that is more than the surrounding tissue. Now, when we keep this passive medical microwave radiometer, which consists of an array of antennas that have been developed. So these antennas are passive. Please, I am very clear in this, they are passive. We are not sending any active microwaves into the body. We are just picking up the heat signals from the tumor. How these heat signals are generated? Because when the tumor starts developing, it has its own temperature, an elevated temperature, which is more in comparison with the surrounding tissues. Now, this change in the temperature can be easily detected by this passive medical microwave radiometer. So, because of this, this has become a hot cake now, because usually the people think that when it comes to the area of microwaves, people think that we are probably sending microwaves inside the body, but no, this area is a passive and a non-invasive detection type for the early detection of the breast cancer. Now, when we use these microwave radiometers, what all comes with them? So basically it is nothing but we design the array of the antennas, and because of the human anatomy, these external sounding sensors or antennas can be easily placed on across to the breast tissue, and if in case a tumor is inside the tissue, the heat signals can be easily picked up by this sounding sensor, and it says that in case there is a tumor present which is malignant, then we have a change in the temperature that can be easily mapped. And now the thing is, when I say that it is an early detection of the breast tumor, so people, usually the patient or the subject comes to know that they have a tumor when it is palpable. So when it has come to a sufficient size, then it becomes a palpable condition. So that people feel some discomfort and then they go to the doctor. So when they go to the doctor, the usual procedure is they first tell, or usually the thing what we also, and I in this forum would like to tell to all the ladies that please cultivate the habit of self-breast examination. So once after the age gap of 30 years, it's usually better to have the self-breast examination done. So once if you find anything, something which has to be reported to the doctor, then we go to the doctor. What they do is they go for an X-ray, and if in case in X-ray we are not able to detect, then they go for an ultrasound. Even though if in case they are not able to define any, using these modalities, anything they are not able to define, then we has to go with the conjunct modalities like the mammogram and the MRI. So now with all these process, what the thing is, the tumor would have become a bigger size. Now if the tumor is of 10 mm, it is pretty difficult to get detected at an early stage. At an early stage, big 10 mm, the heat what it gives is more than the surrounding tissue. So basically, because of this, I should not say this word, the beautiful nature of the tumor. Rather, it is a malignant, it is a harmful foreign body inside our system. But this tip, what it gives, saying that an rise in the temperature is an alarm that can be easily detected by using this passive medical microwave radiometers. So this is the area which is basically to say an uncharted territory in India, where much of the research is happening, since being the non-invasive, non-ionizing, and we are not sending any microwaves into the body. This is starting its usage for the detection of the breast cancer. So this is what is microwave radiometry.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really interesting to know how there's a temperature change because of malignancy and how that is being used for diagnosis. It was really insightful. Thank you so much. Moving on, Dr. Sudarshan sir, since ma'am just talked about breast cancer, would you like to add on to how nanotechnology finds its place in healthcare? And maybe a focus on antimicrobial resistance, because we all know that it's become such a huge mystery.
Yeah, antimicrobial resistance has become a main basic problem for physicians treating in the hospitals. And nosocomial infections are very common, where we find it very difficult to treat, and most of the patients die because of this antimicrobial resistance to many of the antibiotics. So nanotechnology offers several innovative approaches to combat the antimicrobial resistance in healthcare, and that is by enhancing the effectiveness of the antibiotics, creating new antimicrobial agents, and enabling advanced diagnostics. And nanoparticles specifically have the antimicrobial properties using the silver, carbon compounds, copper, and can also be used to disrupt the bacterial biofilms. Bacterial biofilms means the cellular configuration of the bacterial cell, and that will be disrupted, giving the bactericidal activity and enhancing the bactericidal activity, and thus it destroys the resistance of the bacteria. And nanomaterials are also being used to enhance the efficacy of the existing antibiotic. What do you mean by the efficacy of the existing antibiotic? For example, if some drug is tolerable at 500 mg, it can be made used at 250 mg, so that the systemic side effects of the antibiotics is reduced. So nanoparticles, nanomaterials, they are not nanotechnology basically. They are not only finding application in usage of for antimicrobial resistance, but also in the improvement of the efficacy of the antibiotics. And what Dr. Rachana Madam was talking, it's a very important study. And anything without radiation involving any diagnostic technique involving non-ionizing radiation is always a welcome in medical. So today even I came to know about Madam's work also by this panel discussion.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Now, bridging from healthcare to the other diverse fields, I would request Dr. Vijay Kumar, sir, to add on how bioprocess calculations and unit operations play a role in nanotechnology. Do they even play a role in nanotechnology?
When you come for the unit operations and the applications of this nanotechnology in the unit operations. So especially we can give many examples when you go for the application of this nanotechnology in the unit operations. But I will give one or two experiments, one or two examples for this. So especially when you go for the fermentation. Fermentation from the conversion of the waste by using the yeast to the ethanol production. So actually you see when you go for the ethanol production, always the conversion when you go for the bigger scale, the conversion reduces. Especially when you go for the very small the fermenter, the conversion will be around 25 to 30%. When you scale up to 50 liters or 100 liters, it will come to 15%. So this is one thing where we can use this concept, we can apply the nanotechnology there and go for the fermentation. So if you go for the production of the nanoparticles, it may be not only civic, any of the particles. So where the nanopore size will be of the size of the equal to the size of the yeast particles. Then we go for the fermentation. What will happen? The particles of the nanopores, they can act as a nanobioreactors actually. So each particles can act as a nanobioreactor. So where the conversion will be fast and the more efficient. And here I told it may be not only the 30% may go, the production of ethanol may go more than this actually when we use this type of the technique. So this is one of the very good application of the nanotechnology and go for the unit operation. And second thing, I go for the filtration. Because when you go for the waters or many of the drinking water, any of the filtration, because always when you go for the suspended particles will be more nowadays, because I see that nowadays actually from when you go back 20 years or 25 years in every houses we start for the and means we started the water filters. Before that there is no filtration. Water filters we are not using, but nowadays if you see day by day we are going increasing each one unit by unit when you go for the water filters. So especially nowadays we are going for the earlier only one common filtration was there. Then we went for the activated carbon filter. Then we went for the reverse osmosis one unit is there. And nowadays we are going for the UV filtration. UV. So if you see when you go for the water, the drinking water is one of the most valuable actually. So here what will happen, so especially in the drinking water, the suspended particles will be very more. So here the particles, the suspended particle size will be always less, where it is invisible to our naked eyes. Because when you go for the particle size, the lesser than the 12 micrometer only, our eyes cannot detect. So when you go for the particle size in the nano size particles, so by using the ACF unit, especially made by the activated carbon in the nano size, especially between the 80 to 90 the nanometers, so we can easily filter the water, and only if you use the ACF filter is sufficient, not necessary go for the UV or any other units in the water filtration. So these are the two examples which I can quote for the unit operations with the applications of the nanotechnology in the present world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So from healthcare, I was actually very worried of how I will make this transition to biofuels and water treatment from healthcare, and you actually made it very easy, sir. Now with these two examples, so now coming to your first example, I would like Vinami ma'am to add on to that. So sir just talked about how scaling up in fermentation is a problem and how nanotechnology is useful. Would you like to add on a simpler note of how it's playing a role when it comes to scaling up biofuel production and what optimizations do you work on?
In continuation with what Sir spoke about production of bioethanol and the use of nanotechnology, we all know that ethanol production is the conversion of the sugars into alcohol. So it's an enzymatic process. By using nanoparticles, it's been found that the hydrolysis increases. So there is a ready conversion of the sugars. Rather, the efficiency lies in converting most of the sugar into alcohol. So that is enhanced by using nanoparticles. So that is one of the greatest advantages that we are having by using nanoparticles per se in production of bioethanol. The same when we talk about energy optimization with respect to the biofuels, it's in the nascent stage and it's quite challenging. So when we say we are producing the biofuels, then it has a lot of challenges because firstly is how relatedly how similar it is to the fossil fuel. And then it also has to meet all of the standards that even the fossil fuels do meet. For example, one example is of the cetane number. So many of you must be aware of what a cetane number is. The cetane number tells us the efficiency of a certain fuel. The cetane number for biodiesel is comparatively lower to that of the fossil fuels. So that's one of the challenges that we need to address. Because the higher the cetane number, the efficiency of the fuel will be high. So we are using nanoparticles in order to catalyze, either as immobilized to immobilize enzymes, and also to use catalysts as such as hydroxides in order to bring about this catalysis. And also maintaining the particle size of the nanoparticles so that there is more surface area that is available, and thereby the catalysis becomes the more optimized is one more challenge. So there needs to be a lot of research, but then there is a lot of ongoing research as well, and there are some promising results as far as we have seen in the production of whether it's bioethanol or biodiesel by using nanoparticles.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So as I already mentioned, coming to example number 2 of Vijay Kumar sir, I would like Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am to add on because sir talked about how nanotech plays a role in water filtration, and Rajeshwari ma'am just told us in the start that her area of interest
Okay. In our project, we have synthesized zinc oxide nanoparticle using lemon peel, and then we have characterized that zinc oxide nanoparticle. Then we have developed synthesized zinc oxide nanoparticle. We have tested with we have collected water from RR Nagar Lake and Rishivavati river water. Then we have tested our zinc oxide nanoparticle efficiency in removing the pollutants. It is going. We found that it is going to remove almost all types of heavy metals which is present in that Rishivavati river water and then RR Nagar lake water. Then we are able to remove the microbes, all types of microorganisms which is present in the water system, RR Nagar lake water and then Rishivavati water system. We are able to remove at 99% of the microbes from our synthesized zinc oxide nanoparticle. And also we have designed water disinfectant system also. In water disinfectant system, we have designed continuous column which is packed with nanocomposite. Nanocomposite means it consists of zinc oxide nanoparticle immobilized with chitin because chitin is a biodegradable and biocompatible. For that purpose, we are using the chitin to immobilize our zinc oxide nanoparticle. The immobilized bead we are using in our continuous column. Then we have passed RR Nagar lake water and then Shivavati water to remove the pollutants. And we are remove almost all types of microbes, almost all types, and almost all types of pollutants, even TDS, almost all types of heavy metals. Everything we are able to remove, and microbes it is giving very best result. We are able to remove almost 99%. After that, after removing pollutants which is present in the river, then we are wanted to remove dyes, because dye is a non-biodegradable. It is not degrade very easily. It is not possible to remove very easily. So these dyes are present in textile industries and textile industry, and it is causes very hazardous in nature. It is very carcinogenic in nature. So especially we wanted to remove azodite, which is more carcinogenous compared to other dyes. So for that purpose, again we have used the say continuous column method. We have filled our nano composite. Nano composite means immobilized zinc oxide nanoparticle immobilized with chitin as a bioabsorbent. Then we have passed our wastewater. Then after treatment, we are able to see most of the pollutants are removed with nanoparticles, with our synthesis nanoparticles, and around 63% of dye is removed just by absorption. Okay, this is our project.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Dr. Neeta Shivkumar, ma'am. Would you like to elaborate on how you also mentioned in your initial talk that toxicity of nanomaterials is another thing that we need to definitely look upon? So would you like to add on how toxicity must be addressed, be it in environmental applications, biomedical applications, or be it in food packaging?
Anirudh, can you repeat because it was not clear?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Yeah.
Ma'am, how is the toxicity of nanomaterials important, especially with respect to environmental remediation aspects, or when you're using nanotechnology in healthcare, or when you're using it in food packaging? So in all these three different applications that we just spoke about, how does toxicity play a role and what measures should be taken?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, that toxicity is another phase of, the technology, because every technology comes with the two faces of the same coin. So, when we look at the benefits of a technology, it's numerous, isn't it? But when we look at the other side, toxicity is one of the major concerns. So whatever we look at the huge applications, the huge benefits and advantages, we tend to take it up and take it up in forward in the form of research. So first thing what we have to look at is, while choosing any of the material, and especially when we are dealing, it may be with environment, it may be with healthcare, it may be with plant or agriculture. If any of the fields when we take, ultimately these nanoparticles are going to be let out in the environment. So when it is let out in the environment, we as the living forms, we will be directly or indirectly be affected with the adverse effects of these nanomaterials. Because as I told you earlier, nanomaterials, they are smaller in size and they tend to easily pass the cell membrane and get into the system easily. So the first concern of research is what type of nanomaterial we choose, and it would always be recommended to use a biodegradable material, a biocompatible material, and which is easily degradable in nature. So nanotoxicity will actually be 50% of it. I believe it would be taken care by choosing a right material for a right objective and a right product. So that is one important parameter what we need to consider. And second important thing is when we are working with nanomaterials, the safety of it is a big issue. So what would be the standards what we should consider by working with the nanomaterial should be taken care. And the third point is once we are done with the product, how we would use the product and dispose of them in a proper way. That is very, very important. Though there are rules and regulations framed at the national and the international level, but when we take day-to-day life, it is when we are working in the laboratories, it's not that easy, and that should be taken care for the disposal part. So the disposal part is very, very important because, say for example, I am working in agriculture sector and I am working with the materials. So if I am using some metallic nanoparticles, I am using some semiconducting nanoparticles, then the care should be taken that they should be degradable. And the biggest issue with this metallic nanoparticles would be that they are not degradable, and that's why we should choose some carbon-based materials, the ones which are biodegradable in nature. Such nanomaterials should be adopted or should be taken from research point of view in agriculture. Similarly, as we were talking about the health sector. So in terms of drugs, when we are working on drug aspects, so always it is because the drugs are getting inside your body. So the first aspect what should be taken care is the biocompatibility. So whether the material what you are putting inside your body is biocompatible or not, whether your system is accepting it or not, is the first point, isn't it? So that is the main concern of choosing the right material for a right purpose and the right product. So, with this, no, I would like to say that each and every field, we are using nanomaterials in each and every field. See, even a simple example is our quantum dots being used, semiconductor quantum dots being used in LEDs. So that is a major application what is right now available in the market, but the industries manufacturing them should take care equally for the disposal of the effluents into the water stream, because ultimately the water what is being let out would go into the groundwater, and this groundwater would either be used for agriculture purpose or it could be used for drinking water purpose, and for any of our food items it can be used in a direct or an indirect way. So it is a cycle. So the major the concern is the environment, and that needs to be taken care and given the highest priority for working with the nanomaterials. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So the last question for this panel is going to be on BioE3 policy. So we all know a couple of weeks ago, we have got the BioE3 policy, that's biotechnology for economy, environment, and employment. So can you please explain our participants what BioE3 policy is in very simple terms and how it's making an impact on your areas of work? Dr. Pranali, ma'am.
The BioE3 policy in terms of production of biofuels using nanoparticles is to reduce the toxicity. For example, if we are using certain raw materials such as non-edible oils, there is a certain amount of toxicity that is related to it. So we need to see if that we are not releasing the toxicity into the environment. So the processes that we adopt are extremely crucial. And also the nanomaterials. I mean, after we have used them as catalyst, disposal of the nanomaterials is also very important. So hence we are adopting some green synthesis technologies in order to produce the nanomaterials so that they are also biodegradable. So in that way we are able to comply with the policies, and that's very crucial when it comes to the optimum production and as well as not increasing the toxicity of the produce.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am and Dr. Neeta Shivkumar ma'am, since you also mentioned that you're working exclusively on green synthesis, would you like to add on how Bio-E3 policy is going to make a difference?
Okay, for the preparation of nanomaterial, we can use chemical methods, physical methods, chemical methods, and biological methods. Biological method, it is a cost-effective method and eco-friendly because we are using some plant-based material. That too, in my project I am using waste. Biomaterial waste, that is a lime peel. Okay, waste we are going to convert it into some valuable products. That means we are converting lime peel into the zinc oxide nanoparticle, which is very effective. It is very effective in terms of economy, cost effective, eco-friendly, because according to FDA, concentration of zinc oxide is allowed in food. So that's why so many nanomaterials are available. We have chosen zinc oxide nanoparticle because it is less toxic compared to other. Instead of using chemical method, if you go for biological method, definitely that synthesis of zinc oxide nanoparticles, any nanoparticles using plant-based or biological method is very cost-effective and eco-friendly. And also the phytochemicals which is present in the plants, which is an added advantages, which enhance the nanoparticle properties in terms of antibiotics, antioxidants, antimicrobial, all the properties it is going to enhance in so many, maybe 100 times because of the presence of phytochemicals in plant based material. So using plant-based material for the synthesis of zinc oxide nanoparticle is cost-effective and eco-friendly.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, Dr. Neeta.
Yeah. So as Dr. Rajeshwari rightly mentioned that green synthesis is one of the biggest solution for synthesizing the nanoparticles. So, but as I earlier mentioned that by using our materials also, we have to use the organic material in many of these applications, and that is what we are trying to do in our project. Whatever I have been working with the projects into agriculture or into food packaging. So we are taking care that we maximize the use of the organic products since they are biodegradable, and it also takes care from the sustainability point of view. Since today's world is moving towards the sustainability, and UN has given 17 goals for sustainable development, so we should all look into each and every sector how we can utilize these materials in a very sustainable way, and ultimately that will lead to taking care for our environment and as well as the proper usage of the materials in a sustainable way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you all panelists. It was really an enriching session. We discussed so many things from different applications, right from biofuels, and then we saw about how it's being used for water treatment. We discussed about the toxicity, and then Dr. Rachna ma'am and Dr. Suggestions also talked about how it finds application in healthcare, and we also had a wonderful explanation of how it's used in diagnosis of breast cancer. So with this, I would like to conclude today's panel discussion. Thank you so much for joining. Now I request Dr. Vidya Niranjan ma'am, HOD of Department of Biotechnology, Avi College of Engineering, to address the gathering.
Being the organizer of this conference,
I first of all apologize and thanks to all the panel members for understanding the preponement because this is unavoidable as we had a very long sessions on these 2 days. We had only 2 days international conference with many other speakers were there, and the panel discussion was given very few hours or we need to extend the evenings. So I decided to take it at RVCE, and so that's the reason. But anyway, this has been live stream in YouTube, and any students can see anytime. And also I welcome all the students in Newsroom. Yesterday it was around 232 students have participated yesterday, and today I need to check and see how many have joined today also. So who are offline and our online and our offline students, I hope you are taking care, and especially every session is giving so much of knowledge and information for the students as well as the faculty. And thank you so much, and we expect all of you on 20th and 21st at Mangala Mandapa for the conference, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I request you to felicitate our panelists who have joined us offline. We have with us Dr. Mrinalini ma'am from NSKRB College. And Dr. Vijay Kumar sir from RV College of Engineering. Also, sincere thanks to Dr. Rachna ma'am, Sudarshan sir, Nika ma'am, and Rajeshwari ma'am for joining online. Thank you. Yeah, so we'll be breaking now and we'll be starting soon. We have tea and coffee which is going to be arranged along with biscuits outside. And since we're already running late, we request all of you to join back within the next max 10 minutes so that we can proceed with our last track for panel discussion, which is track 5, Sustainable Agriculture.
Hello? Am I audible, Yanesh? Good afternoon, Yanesh. Thanks for joining online. Uh, Dr. Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. And also Dr. B.L. Manjunath, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, madam.
And I also thank Dr. Manjunath Reddy, Dr. Narendra, and Dr. Lingaya, our own colleagues, to join the session. And we are just waiting for B.K. Manjunath sir from Oxford Engineering College. And it was really very good. This is the last track we have, and all the other 4 tracks were very good. And it is online. It is a YouTube streamline, so I'll share that also. You can also see other things. And I invite all of you to come to 20th and 21st also for the conference. There is a personal invitation from me for attending the conference too. And apologies and thanks for accommodating the preponement that is due to some logistic reasons and the timing issues we had in the final conference. But nevertheless, we don't want the science, which is the crux of conference, not to be compromised. And we had it, both the poster presentation and the panel discussion was done at RBCE. Thanks all the panelists, including my colleagues as well as external people who are in the panelists. Thanks for accommodating and welcome you all for this panel discussion. Over to Subru.
Am I audible, sir? Sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll begin with the panel. So, this is going to be the last panel of this ISGCT AIML Bio pre-conference event. And the topic of this panel discussion is going to be sustainable agriculture. Being the last event is going to be quite a special one because on this panel we have 3 Manjunaths. We have one Dr. B.K. Manjunath, Dr. B.L. Manjunath, and our own Dr. Manjunath Reddy sir. I'd like to also call upon the panelists who are offline present with us offline today onto this stage. Thank you. Okay, so let's begin the panel discussion. Since we have a live audience witnessing us online on YouTube, and this event is being live streamed as we're speaking right now, we'll begin with a short round of introduction of all of you. So let's start with the offline panelists. Manjunath sir, if you could begin, it would be great.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please proceed, sir.
So, first of all, let me welcome and greeting from IHR, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research Institute, which is the premier ICR institute and which is placed number 1 in the entire country among ICR institutes. And we at the IHR actually we are doing lots of the technology developments, including variety of seeds and fruits, vegetables, flowers, and most of the technologies which are actually aimed at sustainable production. So whether it is the soil management or it is the pest management or for that matter the different crops. So we are actually working on the technologies and we are developing packages and at the same time a lot of products which are aimed at sustainable production like micronutrients, mixtures, say like plant health products, pest management products. So we are actually licensing it out also for production. We are selling to our Agriculture Technology Information Center also, as well as we are also training the people on all these sustainable practices. So for the benefit of all the participant, we would like to invite you once you can visit our IHR, and what I suggest is the sustainable practices are actually should be aimed at for the long run. So sustainable agriculture is actually aimed in the same sense where the soil fertility is the basic issue. So as long as soil is maintained fertile, so almost all the things are taken care. So how to maintain the soil fertility is the basic issue. So in that connection, actually the practices that we follow, right from the tillage to harvest that farmer does, and the selection of the crops itself, the packages that we follow, and the system that we follow. For example, instead of leaving the land fallow, so taking up a system perspective, if we take the production, solving half of the problem will be solved. Similarly, integrated farming systems, that is having a component of the livestock along with the or any other enterprises, agri-related enterprises along with the crop production, will go a long way in maintaining the soil health. And we are having the trials actually and developing some model integrated farming systems, especially suited to fruit crops like mango. And similarly, we have a comparison of modern agriculture and organic agriculture in comparison to natural farming. So, in a horticulture cropping system perspective, so if we can able to actually assess and take up these production systems on a holistic perspective, probably they'll go in a long way. But only thing is good planning, say right from selection of crops to the taking up the production practices. So probably that will have a say. Anyway, I'll speak in between. I think the introductory part I would like to say this one. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we proceed with Dr. Gnanesh?
Yeah, good afternoon to all. I am from ISGCT Krishi Vignana Kendra, Mysore, which is located at Suttur. So we basically target on sustainability, and also we train the farmers to work towards sustainability. Our main aim is to lead the farmers to go for organic farming, and also to make use of the waste management of agriculture thoroughly. So with this background, so we have around 13 models, and also as Mandra sir mentioned, we have taken some of the licensed products from them, IHR. Also we are marketing them. So with this, mainly I would focus regarding agroecology, how the principles of agroecology support the sustainability or affect the sustainability, and also about the precision farming, how does it help? So, if you consider agroecology mainly sustainable ways. When we think to improve the life of the farmers, the sustainable ways to improve their quality of life. Actually, the main concern is the climate change. Agroecology plays a major role in sustainable agriculture. And if you consider the agroecology, it was first introduced prior to World War in 1928. So it's not a new word, it's already introduced prior to 1928. If you consider basically this small definition, is nothing but sustainable farming that works with the nature. What we were doing before Green Revolution or is that the natural farming, just without disturbing the agro environment or polluting it, we're just growing the available seeds, no chemical fertilizers. But when our Green Revolution started, 1950 onwards, when we reached 1960, much use of chemical fertilizers and all this started. So basically, the agroecology includes both environmental and social aspects, which into the process of food production. Mainly to take horticultural crops or agricultural crops, cereals, mainly the target towards the food production. The main aim of agroecology is a goal to build a greater resilience, efficiency, and overall sustainability. Why is the sustainability word nowadays is very important? Because in future days, we don't take care of our land, we lose definitely the completely polluted land will get. That's the reason we are targeting more on sustainability. And also the sustainability goal which we are targeting is SDG is 2, which no to poverty or zero hunger. Zero hunger is completely depends on currently sustainability. And also there are 13 principles of agroecology, mainly to name them few: social values, economic diversification, biodiversity, land and resources, farmers' participation, etc. And these principles directly impact the sustainability. And if you take that, whether this practical challenges is implementing is any hindrance, definitely it's very tough to implement all the 13 principles. To give an example, at our Nanjangud, we have a ODOP crop that is one district, one crop. Also, we had a respite. Previously, if you see 30 years back or 20 years back, it was grown at almost 30,000, nearly 3,000 to 4,000 acres. Now it has come to 30 to 40 acres. The main reason is Panama wheat. And also this crop is highly suited only to the particular patch of Nanjangud region. And what happened all of a sudden is the farmers began to use a lot of fertilizers, and incorporating those fertilizers suddenly tend to become more towards the Panama wheat susceptible, and also the acceptance of the Nanjangud Raspberry is now very low. And also farmer income came down, and then the slowly turn over to the what we call ALT banana or G9. So now the main concern, we want to bring back that crop and to create a sustainability. And also from last 30 years or 40 years, some people are maintaining still without any Panama wheat disease. The reason is they're still going for organic farming, and they are following the complete organic farming system. So with this is very clearly understand that you go again towards sustainable agriculture, it will be the best thing to go ahead. Another, the land regions where we see the soil condition also is very important. We cannot grow that Nanjangud Raspberry in other regions. Only it's very specific to the Nanjangud region. And one more thing is coming to the how to achieve this. As already sir mentioned, the main thing what we are suggesting are improving to improve the quality of the life of farmers. Because in agroecology, one of the main principles is the quality of the life of the farmers. So basically, we are suggesting them go for integrated farming system. So every 3 months they should get a continuous income throughout the year, and also grow such a crops that it consume less fertilizer, and also they can go along with the available chemical fertilizer plus also organic fertilizer. That is one thing. Crop rotation, and our region also mainly goes for paddy cultivation. So continuously do crops if they take in the paddy cultivation, the soil will become lose the completely nutrient content or organic content. In that we are suggesting that crop rotation also. With these few things, I am telling that it's tough to go for sustainable, but once you start adopting the farmers or implementing it, it will become much easier. And coming to the precision farming. Precision farming is a talk of the town now. Everyone wants to do the precision farming. What is precision farming? That is minimize use of the natural resources available to us, so that it should long last for over the years. One of the best example to give is a small drip irrigation. So when the plant needs renewable, we have to irrigate, and also the amount of fertilizer given in the nano base means the required fertilizer should be less. And all this is monitored to artificial intelligence and remote sensing. When the water rainfall comes, then no need to give the irrigation. And this is practically in some of the farms has been applicable. And also we are implementing in one of our farms to start the artificial intelligence and also agroecology. And some of the cases we get very good databases. This is working very well. And this is the need of the hour for the farmers to go for precision farming. So with this, give a small break to other panelists to talk about this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll proceed with Dr. Manjunath Reddy, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. One more Manjunath here on sustainable agriculture. There are 4 factors mainly important in whatever the sustainability whatever the processes that will take place in the environment around you and all. The four factors are, first is food, energy, environment, and health. If you consider all these four factors, probably all sustainable factors align with these things, maybe it will be the very good environment, a very good kind of health factors that one can undergo. Any other process, any other elements, any other kind of the industry or processes that you can consider, all these should align to these four major factors: food, energy, environment, and health. Food, energy, and health, people are investing, but not on the environment, because the returns are very less. It's happening across the globe. And sustainable, today we are talking about the sustainable agriculture. In sustainable agriculture, there are various factors one have to consider. Amongst them, there are certain problems associated. Whenever there is a problem, then only we address that situation, address that issue, or solve that problem, and such kind of things. Beyond that is the sustainable agriculture. Beyond that is the sustainability. Any kind of the problem, we have to cut at the source level. When there is a problem, we have to cut it at the source level. For example, if I take the greenhouse gases, so where does these greenhouse gases will be producing, and how, what is the quantity, and what is its impact? If we think, if we align, if we find an algorithm for these things to cut down, probably the first at the source level itself, the problem will be solved. Problems may be many, problems may be global, but we have to act at the local level so that we can solve the problems. Okay? And it has to align with the sustainability. Training the farmers, as the Manjunath sir told earlier also, train the farmers for the sustainable factors, for the sustainable practices. How does a sustainable practice can improve? There are various factors, there are various categories, there are various applications have been defined. So one can allot or one can train the farmers towards the sustainability agriculture practices. There are certain other things like price versus product. So if, all of a sudden onion prices will go high, tomato prices will go high, sometimes the farmers will throw the tomatoes on the roads as well. So these are the certain practices that have been commonly noticed. So how does this can also be put under the sustainability is very important. That's one simple example I have taken. So like that, there are many other factors associated with. Okay. So again, I want to repeat that. So we have to put our algorithm in such a way that any kind of the problem will be solved using the sustainable practices. Right practices are also very important. What is right and what is wrong? When I was talking about the price and the product, so we mainly concentrate on the price of the product, and whichever is a higher price, probably will start growing. That is the regular practice that is there. But what is the season? How the seasonality is getting changes? How the environmental factors are getting changes? Whether the soil have got the its capable nutrients, viable nutrients into it or not, are some of the factors that one have to consider. Because my forefathers were doing the same kind of the practices, now also if I start doing or working on that, probably it cannot work. Okay, so that way, right practices have to be implemented or aligned. Maybe the geomorphological selection of the crops is also very important. Probably you might have heard about the wind movement. Again, in the environment, if you take it, wind velocity, rainfall, humidity, and temperature. Again, four factors, they are very important. Okay, it will have the changes in the environment, changes in the climate across the globe. These four factors, climatic factors, right? Humidity, wind movement, wind direction, wind velocity, rainfall as well as the temperature. These are the 4 important factors. Based on that, the geomorphological selection of the crops have to be made. Once it has been considered, and its sustainability is also very important, because maybe after 10-15 years it has to be changed, that we don't know, right? So such kind of the practices have to be revived and carried forward. Lab to land, we will do a lot of research and all that, and it has to be implemented on the land, and it has to be under the sustainable kind of the practice. It has to be carried forward. Natural versus organic versus inorganic, because we want more and more. To a certain extent, I would take one simple example like the usage of the plastics. Now plastic is a menace. We don't want the plastic. Okay, and there are so many rules and regulations have come up to curtail the plastic usage. But why? In the beginning, maybe 3-4 decades back, the usage of the plastic was minimum, and the availability of the plastic in different manner was also minimum, right? But now it is so much. Because it's causing some of the damages, we are trying to cut it down. Where was that plastic was started now? Is it something which is coming from some different planet? No. It's all the resources that have been morphed in this environment, in this globe only. Right? So, how to change these kind of things? Maybe you will call it as inorganic, which we don't want now because of the health factors. Organic, we want it because it may be good for the health. It may not cause or it may not give out bad byproducts. Bad means which are unwanted byproducts. Right? So here different factors that one have to consider, like the natural end of the practices. It may be nature-based solutions. Nature have got a solution for everything. Okay, only thing is we have to align that for our regular practices. That we have to consider. And in the name of organic, so much of the market has been pushed, boosted, or whatever the superlative is that we can tell. But how organic practices are practicing properly is very important. Inorganic, no doubt. Crops and farm practices. I want crops and farm practices. Generally, I'm not a very great expert to talk about that. There are scientists in the panels. They will talk with, because there are various practices have been practiced since many decades, many centuries and all. So how does the soil quality, soil fertility, and the climatic factors are influential? Based on that, one have to go further implementing crops and farm practices. Probably I'll stop here and I'll pass this to my friend Nalanda. Thank you.
Good afternoon. After both Manana, it's arrived to me. First of all, I welcome you for the gathering for agriculture, sustainable agriculture practices. Okay. And it is these gathering we will be focusing on to the vital issues, opportunities, challenges that we will be facing in the agriculture sector. And I hope that there will be a debate with everything can be a sustainable, or organic farming is the final solution for the sustainable, because we have seen recently the Sri Lanka issue. Okay, the country is going economically in a bad shape because of the one indecision making efforts by the government that the organic farming. Okay, because of that entire country came into a debt. Clear. So it is a debatable topic. We will see how we are going to gather that information, and we will try to provide some solutions, or we will come out some emerging solutions that we can implement in this area. Thank you very much. Now over to the Dr. Linda.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, and all. It's a healthy discussion is going on regarding agriculture sustainability. Even I worked regarding this area sustainability. I think all of you are aware about sugarcane. Sugarcane is having over my area. It's belongs to Gulbarga University area nearby. There are a lot of farmers problem with the sugarcane red rot disease. Sugarcane is early one variety is very important, that is COC 671. It's early maturing and high sugar content. All farmers are attracted towards that crop, and they started growing this agriculture sugarcane crop. But the problem is that one of the fungal infection happened in that area. That is the red rot disease caused by fungus Coledotrachum falcatum. Its huge loss was happened to the farmers. Then I realized that I am working with the biotechnology area. I started inventing the sustainable technology to solve the problem. Okay, in that area, they are started using chemicals to get rid of that disease. The problem is that the chemicals changes the structure of the soil. The useful microorganisms also get affected. Then there is no solution started. Even farmers also worried about that condition. I come out with one solution that is called as a biological control agents. I think all of you know about the biological control agents. In nature itself, Dr. Manjunath mentioned, is nature itself having the some properties are there. That is one of the fungus is there, Trichoderma viridae. It's one of the useful fungus. It is doesn't cause any environmental problems. It is directly kill the another fungus called as Coledotrachum falcatum, that is the red rot disease. Okay, that you isolated in the laboratory, you grown in the laboratory conditions as organic farming. You distributed that culture to the farmers. They started using that culture to control the pest, that is fungus, drastically changed. Okay, this is one of the sustainable technology. Like that, there are a lot of areas to do research in this area. Instead of using chemical space, we can use the organic farming or biocontrol agents. We will give the sustainable results to the environmental conditions, and also farmers, they can use the sustainable technology. Thank you.
Okay, so now we'll begin with a round of questions. We'll start with you, Dr. Lingaya, sir. You spoke about biological control agents as well. So following up on that, we see a lot of genetic advancements in the field of biological control agents as well. So how do advances in genetic modification and gene editing technologies contribute to sustainable agricultural practices, and what are the potential risks?
Yes, very nice question, because it's one has to be think in this area. As we talk about sustainable technology, the result will come late also, but it's useful. But nowadays, it's very important that the sustainably you can take care about ecological balance, and integrated pest management system is also there to do a lot of research area. The care should be taken that ethical problems. Okay, which type of genes they are using, what are the environmental hazards that may cause. According to the guidelines, you have to follow the guidelines and structure. Solution will be given by using this sustainable technology, as well as pest management, integrated pest management solutions also. There's a lot of, some more research is required in this area to solve the problems. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. We move to Dr. Narendra, sir. So the global population is estimated to reach around 10 billion by 2050 or so. And on the panel, we had both contrasting views of promoting organic farming, as well as you put across a view, an interesting view rather, that organic farming isn't probably the best solution if not carried out properly. So, sir, could you elaborate on the socio-economic impacts of transitioning from conventional to organic farming on the smaller farmers in the ecosystem, sir?
So the initial transition will be a what you call it is a cost related aspect. Okay, there will be a money related aspects will be involved from transition from the traditional to an organic. Whereas, but government if it subsidize in certain issues, okay, especially where they want to avoid the urea, NPK, and other forms in the form of an organic waste like neem, if you are able to use as an what you call biopesticides, so we can come over for this certain amount of the diseases. So their organic farming may be a certain to the certain part, but the question is for the demand that is required for the large population. So 6.6 billion population, if you organic farming, if you go, whether to such that thing mass production, organic farming is having its own challenges. Okay, everything you cannot make organic farming, so pests in a very large scale manner, and there are companies which will generate the pest, and they will, upon that they will test on the field and they will release the pesticides. So there is a contradictory statements are available with respect to the organic farming. Okay, so direct organic farming cannot be possible. Slowly, a step-by-step move with the subsidy from the government and what you call enhancing the knowledge of practices in the organic farming maybe leads to a slow and steady growth in the organic farming. I hope that this is justified.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to Dr. Manjunath Reddy, sir. What are the quantifiable impacts of sustainable agriculture on greenhouse gas emissions compared to conventional practices, and how can these be measured?
Greenhouse gases, it's the methane. First thing is the methane in the nature, and any other gases that is artificially or anthropogenic kind of the things. Right? The anthropogenic factors are more influencing on the environment, causing damage. The natural one, as I said earlier, the NBS, the nature-based solutions are there. The natural kind of the problems will be solved on its own if it is below the threshold levels or at the carrying capacity levels. But the thing is, when we have the problem, then only we'll go to the doctor. The same way, whenever there is a higher levels of greenhouse gases, GHGs, then only we will be worried and try to draw attention of it. Methane is a very good thing. Probably it's when you go to water bodies, near the water bodies or swamps or something, oxbows or something of that sort, if the water is retained for longer duration, you will find a smell where the anaerobic kind of the reactions will take place and methane will be released into the environment. Okay. That capturing is also one of the unique kind of the requirement or a technology that is required to capture that methane and can be transferred to the lab to convert it into the methanol and use it as the fuel. That's one thing. Quantification, yes, it may not be that easy how to quantify the air. Okay, if it is a solid or a liquid kind of thing, probably it's easy to quantify it because the diffusion is more. Diffusion of the methane into the atmosphere is more. There are certain gas sensors which are available in the market. Using that, you can quantify the levels of the methane that is producing. Other than that, how to control the GHGs is also very important. To control the GHGs is something like at the source level you have to cut it. Okay, you know that, right? CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons will be used in the anthropogenic, maybe released into the environment because of the anthropogenic activities. The greenhouse gases, you know, right? The carbon that how does it will make the like a frame which will allow only the sunlight and the irradiation will not take place. The irradiation, it means that the reflected radiation should go back to the environment. That is not going to happen. The same way the greenhouse is working, right? So where and how it has to be implemented is important. For example, we wanted to grow Kashmiri apple in Karnataka, somewhere around Bangalore. Is it possible? We can provide the same kind of the environment to that plant. We can provide the similar kind of the soil, fertilizers, organic, inorganic, whatever the way that you want, we can give. But whether that the gene is adapted to this kind of the environment or not is very important. Of course, the human is very good in pushing the natural conditions away, and we wanted to make ourselves a better thing. But in the nature, if it is accepted, then only one have to go for the production of such kind of plants in a different region. Okay, that is being practiced. If you think about the oranges, you will feel which part of India is good for oranges. But now you can grow the oranges everywhere because there may be some changes in its genetic modifications also for its adaptability. But still, if you make those kind of the changes, it will affect the health. Once it is affecting the health, then again another cycle of events will start. In the name of mass production, we should not spoil the genetic features. We should not spoil the natural conditions. Controlling the GHGs at the source level is very, very important. I hope I have answered.
Thank you, sir. We now proceed with a question to Dr. B.L. Manjunath, sir. So, what are the long-term effects of sustainable agriculture practices on biodiversity and the soil, and how can these effects be monitored over time? So, please unmute yourself.
Actually, this particular guy is the basic crux of the entire sustainable agriculture. Because long-term effects are the ones which have got major effects. Because sustainable practices will actually give its impact in the long run, and these long-run impacts will have on a perpetual basis the positive impacts of the entire agriculture as a whole. So basically, in the long run, the sustainable practices will improve the soil physical and chemical properties. Mineral soil physical properties like soil aggregation or aeration or water holding capacity or structure, all these things. So they are actually the sustainable practices over a period of time. They slowly improve upon. Similarly, soil chemical properties including the organic carbon content or nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, or secondary nutrients like calcium, magnesium, sulfur, or micronutrients which are essentially required for crops like copper, manganese, zinc, all the things. So all these things, say they will be on a long run, there will be a gradual improvement in the soil. But actually, it will have a major impact on the soil, both soil flora as well as the fauna. See, all the organisms that are dependent on the soil for their survival, so we get influenced because if if the soil has become lesser pH, that is acidic in nature over a period of time, so definitely it gets improved with continuous sustainable practices towards neutrality. Once it comes to the neutrality, say most of the soil reactions will favor, and in fact it will actually instead of acidifying fungal growth, say towards the neutral and bacillophytes, actually the microbes will keep increasing, and in the process what will happen, the crop growth and other things will improve, and even the soil health also improves, and crop the health also definitely will improve. And this increased radiation actually particularly due to better soil structure, root structure and aggregation, and better water holding capacity also will help actually for a better root proliferation. Because what happens many times actually the root growth we have to really bother, especially in a rainfed ecosystem. So the root that actually helps for the entire the survival of the plant, and if it's not taken care, so naturally there will be long-term negative impacts. So basically, as a what this kind of sustainable practices, they will improve the root proliferation, and in fact, in the process, the entire rhizosphere, the active root zone, what we call. So that will have an impact in the active root zone, and the flora and fauna which are actually dependent are around the root zone, rhizosphere, microbes also will abundantly will improve under the sustainable systems. And of course, these systems definitely can be monitored also because if you have a control plot, so how we can monitor is with and without the sustainable practices adjacent to the similar set of practices, except for the including the crop variety, everything should be same except for the sustainable practices. If we keep a control plot along with the management where we are doing for sustainability, so definitely over a period of time we can assess the soil health status in terms of all these parameters, both physical, chemical properties, as well as the microbial, basically the soil and soil flora fauna also, the abundance of the including the soil arthropods, microbes, then even insect pests. So all diseases, or for that matter, actually we can entire the biodiversity that is actually happening over a period of time on such situations. We can compare with the control where the sustainable practices are not followed, and definitely we can come out with a valid decision and the impact of the sustainability in the long run. I think that's answers the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We move to Dr. Nanesh. So the question to you is, how do the principles of agroecology intersect with sustainable agriculture, and what are the practical challenges that arise in implementing them?
So, as already discussed, basically the adoption from the farmers is quite difficult. See, since if you take examples of Mysore district, it covers 9 towns. So we are into the organic farming. There are so many, as you told now, how to support this thing, whether farmers will accept. Definitely nowadays, best thing is most of the retired persons who have supporting their livelihood to get their pensions and all, 100% they are going for organic farming. They have a land of 3 to 4 acres and they have a continuous income to their pension and they can invest on that for 5-6 years and there. But what about the small scale pharmacies? They are slowly adapting, but with the support from the subsidies. There are many training programs organized for organic farming. So slowly they are coming up. And if you take the principles, mainly livelihood, slowly it is changing. It's completely not depend on organic farming. They are also depend on livestock and also the forestry system which supports them another source of income, especially the livestock what they give to the milk and also the poultry part. All those things clearly support the farmers. That is one thing. And also we can see the principle how it mainly major things is the adaptation. Suppose like crop rotation, mulching, organic farmer, the integrated disease management, pest management, integrated farming system. If all the together farmers cannot adapt. So few things slowly nowadays they are started to adapt, and we have to educate the consequences of what are the drawbacks will happen if you keep on spraying these chemicals. What is the alternate thing nowadays? Now, initially the biofertilizers were not popular. Now it's very popular among the farmers. For each crop there is a fully microbial consortium. We are encouraging, especially the different trichoderma species. For especially banana, we have trichoderma different species and they have been placed like Physicat or Novovit. So this kind of encouragement should be needed to the farmers. Coming to the principles, among the 13 principles, the main thing is the cost involvement. First 6 years or nearly 7 years, they start adopting sustainable agriculture. Mainly our focus is sustainable agriculture adoption, not implementing complete organic farming. Sustainable organic farming is part of the sustainable agriculture. There are also other methods like can go for integrated farming system where they can go for both chemical fertilizers and also biofertilizers. So slowly farmers can cope up with this. And also the selling, marketing is the main problem nowadays. Farmers are occurring in sustainable because if a farmers grow organic product in this field and same farmers grow a chemical fertilizers, they get the same price. Even though they are certified crops, they should have a proper market channel supporting the farmers. This is the way main concern all the farmers are. What is the additional benefit if we grow in the organic farming? What is the additional things what we get? So, what are the things what we are educating now in our daily case is sustainability. They should not lose their land by completely going for continuous crop. Either they should go for crop rotation, either cover crops to manage this. And also, one of the major what I am seeing among the 13 principles is biodiversity. Biodiversity we are using now, and because that is due to the monocropping. Everywhere if you see they are going for paddy, sugarcane, or either banana, there is no other crops or anything. In this scenario, we have to educate farmers to go for growing multiple crops after one season. So that is also one of the main thing what we are trying to do in this current context. And also we are also challenging the markets to get a better price so that the farmers can go for sustainable farming. And also we are telling the ill effects of continuous use of fertilizers and pesticides in the farm. So this also, if we tell them what are the alternatives, suddenly they'll ask what are the alternatives if you don't want to go. Currently we have all the alternatives like biocontrol agents and also the use of biofertilizers. And we are not telling them completely stop using. We are telling them go for integrated farming. Use both. So that slowly once land come up with all the microorganisms, slowly we can start to for organic farming. And one more thing is slowly we are getting into the gene editing crops. I support mainly my personal views, gene editing crops are compared to the GMOs. Because here just with the small change of the base pair, I don't think there will be much difference. Definitely, these crops will support the biodiversity. Because, like, if you take the resistant to diseases, pests, or drought, these crops will be very beneficial to the farmers, and indirectly they will help the farmers to go for sustainable agriculture. So, with this, I want to conclude that sustainable agriculture is the future, and I understand that among the few principles it's very difficult to implement, but slowly all the principles will get implemented one by one. So I think I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a very elaborate.
One more point I forgot: the precision agriculture. So that is also where nowadays we are displaying the weather report directly to the farmers from the different university collected data. So in every milk booth where we collect the milk from the farmers, we are installing those weather parameters which include humidity, weather forecast, whether they will get rainfall next day, whether they can go for sowing. So all those things also will help them. So I think I have answered the question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll conclude this session with one last question. But before the question, I'd like to give a small pretext. So we live in a rapidly globalizing world, and as we can see, the cities are growing outwards, and the land available for cultivable agriculture is decreasing day by day. Along with this, we all know that sustainability is the need of the hour. We can't go down the same path that we have taken for the past 5 decades or so. So, coming to the question, how do we feed so many people over the next 2 decades? Anyone can take up the question, sir. Or we can go on by.
So actually, I think definitely initially we had a question that in 2025 can we feed the population? Yes, we are doing that. And slowly, if you go for 10 billion population by 2050 also, definitely will feed. There are very other alternatives of food sources. Mainly, if you give value addition to the farmers, definitely they will get the income and they will go for different kind of crops. So because nowadays the farmers mainly feeding habits are changing. Previously we used to take very good quality grains or very few in few cases. Nowadays the quality doesn't matter, the quantity doesn't matter. Now comes the quality, what kind of food we are getting. So with this, definitely in near future, if we follow this sustainability along with the integrated farming system, we will can achieve the targeted food production for feeding the 10 billion population by 2050. And also we are encouraging the breeders to go for high yielding, which is accepted by the farmers. Similarly, the alternate to chemical fertilizers or chemical insecticides, we are going for biofertilizers and use of microorganisms for disease control. So with this, I think we are in a positive way as a scientist or a breeder. I am confident that in nearby future we can feed the population, but with the limited land, definitely we can do. I hope so. Thank you.
Just to add Dr. Naresh view, what we can do is actually the area under marginal and small holdings are increasing. So this is one cause of concern as actually where the profitability per unit area per unit type has to be made sustainable. So they, as I really told, the integrated system where one can have a resource in recycling and in, actually keeping in view the market as the main focus, and value addition and bringing in both output and a diversified way probably will add to the answer. Basically, the soil is the crux, soil fertility is the crux, and soil is the supporting media for entire ecosystem. And soil maintenance and the lot of new varieties with pest and disease tolerance. So they are coming up. So then we have to have a package suitable to the system that is required, because some crops are better suited for certain areas while others are not. So selection of crop, selection of variety, the density, the method of propagation, and the method of production, and on a holistic perspective, the system perspective, these things have to be viewed. Not on a monocropping or single thing, and on a holistic way, if we just think, and I think we can implement. Basically, the problem comes is there would be our crop planning itself. Which area is suitable? For example, you were referring about Nandanur or Supale. So if it is due to some of the other problems, it is actually affected. But otherwise, say one district, one product, say concept is really good, and the only thing is encouraging that product up to the valuation final marketing and ensuring a better price for the produce. Probably will keep a sustainable return for the farmer, and in turn, so you will be encouraged to go because of the we can process industries and marketing outlets can come up in that particular area specific to that particular niche area which has got more potential compared to the ones where we are actually targeting on too many things, and finally we are ending up with marketing issues. So this also solves a lot of glut problems in market. And once the farmers' the income is assured along with the soil fertility, I think the question, the sustainability part as well as the feeding of the population will automatically definitely be taken care. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Lingayan, sir.
It's very important regarding sustainable development, early control. Early control of any diseases. Actually worked with, as I mentioned earlier, sugarcane disease. LSI technique. LSI technique is generally used for outside health, that is AIDS testing and some other virus testing. But in our laboratory, I isolated the fungal cultures and developed the antibodies against that plant antibodies. You develop techniques for the early detection. Early detection is one of the most important for the sustainable technology. And whatever we're talking for the organic farming and culture-based controlling pest and management, here the cost effect is very important. If the culture is isolated, that can be maintained in any temperature, avoid the contamination for the farmers. It's one of the suitable techniques help to sustainable development, as well as even PCR technique. PCR, that is a polymerase chain reaction, is also used to detect the early stage diseases. Okay, all these make a sustainable technology development for the sustainable agriculture.
Sukrut, hope I understood your question that how we will meet the supply of the food for the growing population.
Yes.
Right? Okay. With this, I will divide this question into three parts, and I will try to explain. And I will just give an example. In 1950s, under India was under food deficit. Now India is a food surplus. So at that time, population was the 48. Now it is a 140 crores people. So you need not to worry about the food. These things. We have taken a better green revolution and better success stories, like even BT cotton was also implemented towards the sustainable. Monsanto is one company who came here and established the cotton production. Okay, and there are certain questions that need to be answered in the while supplying for the growing demand. That was the one is the MSP, minimum support price, because when we turn everything towards the organic farming, what is the debate thing is the prices should be low or high. If I go for organic farming, the prices should be high or low, because I am avoiding the use of pesticides. So money is saved. Okay, but the farmer is charging more, right, in current scenario for organic farming products. Correct, right? Why?
Biofertilizers.
Good. As an alternative, he has used the biofertilizers. Any other? Not from the professor. Professor is very smart. Next, any students? Why it is costly? Even though we are avoiding the pesticides, it should be cheaper. But it is not so. No,
I think it's more of the marketing associated with it.
Okay, marketing associates. All that stuff it is the same with the pesticide products also, right?
High efforts.
High efforts, okay, I agree. There is a high efforts from the farmer, okay, in the form of a laborer's job. Okay, next. Advancement in tools, okay. To the certain extent. If you exactly figure out what is the problem, then you come.
Nane sir says low yield.
Yield. Yield is the biggest questionable point. So where this question will come, because if I go for the organic farming, if I go for a traditional pesticide farming, the cotton yield was 1 metric ton per the 1000 acres. Now if I go for the organic farming biopesticides, it came to 0.6 metric tons. So farmer has lost 0.4 metric tons. But farmer is not happy because he will lose the money at the end of the day. And he has put the lot of efforts. Upon that it is coming. So I think you understand what is the challenge. Is the real challenge. And other thing is the quality. If you want to see the cotton, just I am taking as a cotton as an example. The pesticide cotton is having a pure white. But whereas the BT cotton is having a light brownish. People doesn't like because whitish is the brand ultra luxury nature. Clear. That is the one thing. Okay, this are all debatable in the growing population. As earlier professors or scientists have mentioned that quantity matters, quality doesn't matter. But along with quality, if you want to implement, it is the Ministry of Agriculture duty to how to make the rules such that the sustainable practices can be brought into an effect. That is the one thing. Next thing is the further how to grow for organic farming, give the more incentives. Okay, incentivize in such a manner that people have start practicing the organic farming. And organic farming need not be the farmer has to practice, even a household person can do it on the terrace gardening using a hydroponics or aquaponics for small amounts. Need not to depend on the farmer only or on the soil only for all these things. We will generate a lot of kitchenware. With that also we can create our own GoPro. I think you understood. Clear? Okay. And there is one most important thing. What is the for farmers required? Pesticides are required or some other components are required? Fertilizers. Which is the best fertilizer? NPK, agree. Sure. 50%. Another. Most important. And government is having a total control on it. Urea and NPK are this thing. So if you are able to manage to get this only these two products, anyway a biological component into that one, more than sufficient, it will become the agriculture will become sustainable. Need not to have the complete pest control, water management, soil erosion need not to be removed. But instead of NPK and urea, if you make biological entity into that one, we have achieved it. Okay. So I hope I justified these things. Okay, further biotechnology is revolutionizing in the field of biopesticides in large scale. Monsanto is the one thing which is also having a collaboration with RBC. I hope that students will utilize this opportunity. Okay. Over to the Monsanto.
That's where the biotechnology is important. Actually, to address Sukrit's question, biotechnology is very important. Without biotechnology, I think all other sectors can survive, but biotechnology can't simply survive like that. two ways one can improve is something like wastage can be reduced. Reduce the wastage. Wastage is happening everywhere. Okay, so we can reduce the wastage and we can improve our work or get more technology towards soilless farming. Soilless farming can also boost up and can also give more products to the shelves, and one can fulfill the need of the food. Reduce the waste and also improve the quality of the foods using biotechnological practices. Biotechnology is meant for that. Biotechnology will work in different sectors, not only just smaller or bigger practices. It's the most important discipline towards the well-being of the human being. Okay, I'll stop the discussion now. Thank you.
Thank you all for being present here with us today. It was really insightful. I'd now like to call Dr. Vidya Niranjan ma'am to enlighten us with a few closing words to conclude the pre-conference of ISGCT and AIML 2024.
Thank you all. I know it's a lunch time, so I'll not take more time here. And it was a wonderful session for the last 3 days. First day is on poster presentation. We had around 37 posters, and we are trying to give a good cash award for at least 6 of them. And then of 10,000 each. And next day was panel discussion. We had 3 different domains: the AIML, healthcare, and we had genetics. And today we had nanobiotechnology and sustainable agriculture. I hope this has enlightened the students to have their passion and focus on certain areas for you to take it up forward. And I really wish you all the best, and thank you all the panelists and the organizers, and also the Gene Research Foundation, Dr. Agarwal Eye Hospitals, who has magnanimously given funding for doing the whole conference. And my dear Genesis students, and without you, I think this would not happen. And this is the first conference of its type where it has been completely taken over by the Genesis students. And I want such type of initiatives from the students to do that, where I think you are the superpower from now on. Thank you.
So, I will thank Dr. Vidya Niranjan and also the Genesis team for inviting us. So it was a very good session to interact with the different scientists in different fields. Thank you, madam, and I also thank all the panelists to spend their time and interact with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
one and all, for joining us.
Thank you, sir, and I hope we will meet soon in person too.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I'd now like you to felicitate our panelists who are present with us today.
People, not necessarily always see, but anyway.
You are a panelist today.
Thank you very much for patient hearing.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.